from California, and I am somewhat amazed to think that she would imply that we don't care about the unemployed. The fact is we do. I went through the list of the things she mentioned, and the senator from Vermont. I wasn't here in 2001. I wasn't here in 2003. I wasn't here when both wars were initiated. I had no part in any of that. But even had I been, the fact is we can help two groups of people with this unemployment insurance. There isn't anybody on our side of the aisle that doesn't think we ought to pass extended unemployment benefits. And to state or imply that is absolutely absurd. It's not about stalling. The majority leader of the Senate did not allow one amendment, not one amendment, to allow us an opportunity to have your vote on whether we ought to pay for it. The question isn't whether or not we help the unemployed. Every time we've offered ways to do that. Matter of fact, 5 times it's been rejected that in fact our grandchildren shouldn't have to pay for the unemployment benefits of the people that are unemployed today. 5 times it's been rejected. Multiple times we've chosen to not do the responsible thing for 2 groups of people. It's very easy to get on the Senate floor and throw darts at people who have a drastic disagreement on where we stand in this country today. But to imply they don't care is out of bounds. The people in Oklahoma who are not getting an unemployment check today, I care about just as much as the people who are getting that don't have a job that aren't getting one. But there is another group of people that I'm pressed to serve in Oklahoma as well, and that's their children. And the assumption that this body can make that we can't make the hard choices to eliminate things that are much less important, much more wasteful, absolute waste of federal dollars, and eliminate those things to pay for unemployment insurance is out of the bounds of reality. My colleague from California mentioned several times that all the people that are getting these extended benefits have paid into a fund. They've paid zero. This is extended benefits. The extended benefits are 100% paid for by federal tax dollars. It's the 26-week, the routine unemployment that is paid for through the unemployment fund. So the extended benefits, long-term benefits, don't come from any pot of money except the pot of money of our grandchildren's future. So let's put to rest, there isn't a Republican or a Democrat or an independent in this body that doesn't want these folks to get extended unemployment benefits. We do. The question comes is in a time when we're going to borrow $1.6 trillion this year alone, that's what we're going to borrow, against the future of our children, of whether or not maybe we can find $30 billion that doesn't come anywhere close to the priorities of helping people who are unemployed today. So I reject out of hand the idea that we don't have any compassion. The fact is we do. And matter of fact, our compassion is both short-term and long-term, because we're thinking about the habits of Congress that continually puts the credit card into the machine and borrows against the prosperity and well-being of the generations that follow us. So let's not have any more talk about the fact that we don't want people to have unemployment. We do. We do want them to have unemployment. Multiple times we'd offered ways for that. And it may in fact pass this afternoon or early this evening that we're going to extend them and not pay for them. But as the senator from California said, it's a defining moment. It certainly is. Is the federal government in this time of difficult economic situation, are we going to at least make some small attempt to rein in the $300 billion worth of waste, fraud, abuse, and duplication in the federal government? And the answer we get is no. Discretionary programs over the last 2 years, not counting the stimulus, we can have the stimulus debate some other time. Discretionary programs in the last 2 years have risen 19.6%. When the average wage in this country went up less than 2%. The federal government is now twice as big as it was in 1999, not counting the stimulus. We have 6,400 sets of duplicative programs that the body won't touch. None of them have metrics. They're all designed to do good things for people. They're highly inefficient, they're highly ineffective, and yet what we'll do is not that hard work to get rid of the things that aren't working. We'll just charge our children so we can say we took care of unemployment. Well, hard times require hard decisions. And what we're seeing is the easy way out. The easy way out is to not pay for this. The easy way out is to charge it to our children and our grandchildren. There's no difference in the level of compassion. Everybody wants to take care of those that are unemployed, those that are struggling. The easy way is to put it on the back of our children and grandchildren. The question really comes down is will we do what's the best right thing for the country? Will we do the best right thing for the country? Or will we do the easy thing, the politically expedient that I can do class envy, I can make somebody look bad because they didn't agree with me on the timing of something? Or will we really act as a body that will ensure both caring for the now and ensuring the future? You see, it's easy to spend money that you don't have in the Senate in the United States of America. The bias is for it. The hard thing is to take and do the best right thing. Now, my colleagues, many of which on both sides of the aisle, in numerous cases over the last 5.5 years, have too often done the easy thing. And we have all these fingers pointing that this administration did this and this administration did this. I'll tell you what, there's plenty of problems for every administration, every political party to be considered guilty on. Because too often, both groups have done the short-term, politically expedient thing rather than the best right thing for the country. You know, I had at one of the events that one of my staff attended this weekend, an individual in Oklahoma who was lost his unemployment insurance. And he said, you tell Dr. Coburn to be sure and continue to pay for it because I want my unemployment insurance. I need my unemployment. I won't be able to make my house payments unless I get that. But I don't want that to come from my children and grandchildren. I want it to come from the excesses and waste of Washington today. So there is another viewpoint, even though we hear like that is a critically non-pertinent viewpoint. This isn't a partisan issue. This isn't a delaying tactic. This is a real philosophical difference on how do we get out of the mess that we're in. A lot of my colleagues aren't happy that I'm a Republican a lot of times because I go after my party just as much as I go after anybody else's. But the fact is core principles matter. Go look at the history of republics. The senator from California talks about a defining moment. The defining moment for the Athenian republic was when they decided to start spending money they didn't have on things they didn't need. Here's our option today. And the reason we're going to have motions is because we were given no opportunity to amend. That's the only reason you have motions to suspend the rule. It has nothing to do with a delaying tactic. It has to do with a real debate and offering of amendments, a senator's right to offer amendments in this body. And the senator from California would be doing the same thing if the shoe was turned the other way. If she was precluded from offering amendments, she would find out a way to offer an amendment. If she felt from a position, a conscientious position that can be defended on the basis of facts. You don't have to agree with it, but you can't deny that there are economic factors that should play in how we pay for unemployment insurance. You can demean us. You can say we're mean. You can say we don't care. But the fact is, none of that is true. It's an absolute untruth. So the defining moment is, will we embrace the quality that built this country in the first place? And that's being responsible for the problems that are in front of us and not shifting that responsibility to generations that follow. That's what this debate's all about. You know, when we left here for one break, we had agreed with Senator Reid and Senator Levin about extending unemployment insurance, and we were told by the Speaker of the House that she wasn't about to set the precedent of starting to pay for unemployment insurance. Well, why not? When we have a $1.6 trillion deficit, when we have $13.3 trillion worth of debt as I stand here today, when we are mortgaging the future of our children, we're stealing opportunity away from them as we said and do it, why not? Why not meet the challenges that are in front of us by responding in a way that says meeting people's needs today are important, and it's important we not take away from the needs of the future as we do that. And yet we're lectured that it's a partisan debate. There's nothing partisan about this. In my soul, I want to help everybody out there that's unemployed and facing a tough time today. But also in my soul is I don't want to mortgage the future of any more American children when we have tremendous amounts of waste, fraud, and duplication that can easily be eliminated. I'm going to have one of the motions that I'm going to offer is going to cut $40 billion from the federal government. America, tell me what part of this you don't agree with. The fact is we're going to ask that we quit wasting money on real property. We spend $8 billion a year maintaining